Hey, welcome to Dollar Views. I'm Brian Gillis.
And I'm Stephen Montmanex.
We're just two Long Beach State film grads with a lifelong passion for cinema trying to put our money where our mouths are.
And we decided to make our BAs mean something by giving our 2 cents on the weekly film releases.
Whether it's the cute romantic comedy,
Or the latest cult classics,
from the little-known indies and docs,
to the latest Michael Bay masterpiece.
we go over it all. $1 at a time.
Reggie,
Ethan, where are you?
the Syndicate is real. A rogue nation trained to do what we do.
An anti-IMF.
They're coming after us with everything they've got.
You ready?
This may very well be our last mission. Let's make it count. So what's the play?
You want to bring down the Syndicate? It's impossible.
Clapping over there. You excited?
Dude, I just really like this trailer.
Is that a Dark Knight moment?
What?
Is the truck supposed to flip over in the trailer now? I still think that's like premiere trailer cutting right there.
Oh, yeah, the Joker clapping. Okay.
Yeah, you got it. You got me now. Speaking of trailers, I think this is great publicity, not publicity, but a good example of how to publicize your film. The trailers for this only showed the plane sequence and like the setup for that water, whatever the hell you want to call it, the heist, which was nothing. That's like that has nothing to do with the film. And it's funny because this is a Columbia Picture distributed Skydance film,
No,
which
this
is
is
the exact
Paramount.
Paramount, which is the exact same thing that Terminator was, and yet they fucked up that publicity.
Well, they proves that they have faith in this movie.
But why? It's also a franchise that for a while there was kind of on the skids. Well, I mean, you like Mission Impossible 2.
I don't. No.
No, you don't?
No.
I was talking to someone who
No.
said they liked it. I was like, oh.
No, I really don't like that movie. I thought it was boring as hell.
I seriously don't even remember. I just remember Penelope Cruz looking sexy, the motorcycle scene, and the fact that Scary Movie 2 did the motorcycle scene better.
What'd you think of this one?
It's hard for me to give a good criticism or critique because...
You too?
I don't even know if it's for the same reasons you have. It's just... I was pretty tired. I worked 9 to 5, and then I saw the movie at 5:30. So I was like going in and out, like I was falling asleep in like the first like 40 minutes, but then I woke up like when things started happening. But there wasn't anything that great going on. There wasn't that a spectacle. I was expecting something great.
Yeah.
And like I said, I was cool that nothing in the film I knew about because they avoided in the trailers, and it also helps I only saw one trailer. But maybe that was because there wasn't really anything else that was that enticing or exciting outside of what we already knew.
Yeah, I'd have to say, as far as ranking it, this is probably the one where Tom Cruise just goes all out as far as doing practical stunts.
Yeah,
like,
which
he's
is cool. That
insanely
plane stuff
dedicated.
is cool.
Yeah, it's not just the plane, which, thank God that was the opening scene, because they just kept pushing that to hell in the marketing. I was just like, okay, it was good to get that out of the way and be surprised by other stuff.
Even though I knew it was going to be there, it was still awesome.
Yeah. No, but then, I don't know what happened because I was really into the movie when it started.
It lost you?
No, I was just really having fun with it. And then there's a point where it just started losing me and I just became uninterested and I've just been trying to figure out why. And I don't think I have the best defense for it, but, I think...
When I walked to the car, I was trying to piece it together too, and I did like an okay job, and I went, "Fuck it, doesn't matter."
Yeah, no, I don't know, maybe it's just fizzling out a bit, but I mean, my friend had a similar reaction right when we walked out the theater. He just kind of said, "Well, that was fun," like with a question mark at the end, because
I definitely would think, it's
there's
fun.
Cool stuff in there, but then I don't know, just something happens, the momentum dies. It doesn't get bad. It's just,
it's a solid movie.
Yeah.
It's a good summer blockbuster. It's not that much of a spectacle. It's not that exciting.
Which, it's weird saying that, too, because, there's Tom Cruise hanging out of a plane. There's a scene where he's holding his breath underwater for 6 minutes. The fucking opera scene's pretty awesome. I
That
mean, that
opera scene
motorcycle
is pretty,
chase is
motorcycle chase is good, but
Yeah.
I really like that opera scene.
yeah. I mean, there's a lot of great stuff here. So I mean, it's really weird to just kind of walk out there and go, that was all right.
I think it's just because we get these movies now, okay, for the most part, even when they're not good. Like, look at Pixels, okay? Not a good movie, but it was still, like, stuff that you hadn't seen before, whereas this is a fifth Mission Impossible, and they've kind of already done all they can do, it seems like. They're not really breaking any new ground.
Which is saying a lot for a movie where Tom Cruise hangs out of a plane while it's taking off.
Well, look, when you climb the tallest building in the world from the outside, everywhere else is kind of a downgrade.
And that's still just as impressive. And I mean, I think for every action sequence, though, like, as cool as they are, with the exception of being the opera, which is probably the highlight of the movie for me, there's always, like, I guess for here, maybe one thing that just turned me off is there's always one little detail that bothered me, and however insignificant it could be. The scene with the plane, I felt like it just kind of
nothing.
It just kind of ended just like that, right when it could have.
This film also kind of just ended just like that too. So I think that has something to do with the writing. Christopher McQuarrie, he's only directed 2 other things. One thing that actually means anything, Jack Reacher, which was actually good. He wrote that too. Also, Edge of Tomorrow.
But he didn't direct that, though.
No, he wrote that. Both of those scripts obviously adapted from best-selling novels. Jack Reacher, a series of novels. But both those scripts are really good. Both those movies are really good. Haven't seen Valkyrie, but it's established that McQuarrie, has some kind of collaboration or like a certain bond with Tom Cruise. They work well together.
Yeah.
And I know he produced Valkyrie with Bryan Singer. I still haven't seen that. I have no desire to see Tom Cruise trying to kill Hitler.
It's actually it's a fairly entertaining movie.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's worth checking out if you find it on TV or something. Although having Tom Cruise
plus
play
he
a
has an
Nazi
eye
with
patch.
an American accent is just kind of weird.
Oh yeah, that's weird. But yeah, no, the directing was fine here. I mean, he didn't fail. The script wasn't bad. The stunts weren't boring. It kind of feels like our conversation that we had about Marvel or like comic movies in general, where
It just feels like a burnout.
yeah, it's like what more can you expect? Especially because it's weird. Everyone on Twitter was like, "Oh yeah, this is the best Mission Impossible movie yet. It's great." And I was going into it with that maybe, but even still, I don't know.
I don't want to say it's really like a blockbuster burnout because there's. I mean,
look at Mad Max.
Yeah, and I mean, there's just a lot of stuff here. Like they really put a heavy emphasis on stuff being done practically. Except for, I don't know, maybe the underwater scene.
Yeah, well, that was obviously fake.
Yeah,
that was some cool camera work, though.
He holds his breath, though, for real, apparently, which I'm curious to see the making of on that. He did it for real.
David Blaine
in 6
does
minutes.
it for real, too, for like 10 days or whatever. So
Fuck David
movie
Blaine.
magic, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess just the use of virtual cameras, like, still there's a long way to go there, but it did.
There was some
did feel a
really
little
interesting
fake, but-
point of view stuff here, especially on the motorcycle scene. I really like the not windshield, but windscreen mounted stuff. That was really nice.
I got Return of the Jedi flashbacks for that scene, for the land speeder chase
I can
sequence.
understand that, yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, really
obviously
got
this
that.
this wasn't shot in high frame rate.
No, but I mean, you definitely got that same sense of speed. Like,
Yeah.
those motorcycles were really going fast.
They're moving fast.
Really
yeah,
fucking
they're
fast.
They're
yeah.
usually going like 115, 120. I don't know. I just this film also, when I got out, I was like reflecting a little bit. It reminded me of Skyfall, not in terms of the story, but also the story a little bit. But just in the way that it sets up more of a sequel than it does anything else on its own. Because the way Skyfall ends is like, oh look, there's major spoilers, but who the fuck cares? Spectre's coming out in a couple months. Now we got a Moneypenny. Now we got a Q. Now like it like James Bond as James Bond is coming together, and obviously, well, not obviously, but it looks like we're finally getting a real legion of bad guys. Got my fingers crossed for Blofeld.
Well, Waltz is playing Blofeld.
He has to.
He
fucking
is.
has to.
I'm not even gonna. If it happens,
yeah, but-
I'm just not gonna be surprised. Like,
But Skyfall, it had a lot of good pieces, but it was more of the fan service and kind of setting up the next step. And to me, this felt like a similar thing, where, you kind of got another person maybe joining the group, and, you kind of got a little bit of a you definitely have someone else, and it rewrites the rules about what the IMF can do and who they are and what they're doing. And I'm sure you read that Tom Cruise said they're already in development on the next one.
Which I'm not surprised at all.
I'm not surprised, especially because this one and the last one, they're solid films. And the people that like Tom Cruise and this series, there's nothing to be disappointed about.
No.
It's just there's not anything to be that excited about either. It didn't blow me away. Maybe I want it to, and that's the problem.
Yeah, I mean...
Did you see it in IMAX?
No, I didn't.
No?
But I went in a really nice theater.
There you go.
Yeah,
you do a XD or something?
No. But there was
format?
no. It's just like one of those traditional screens. But I was lucky
really
enough.
Nice.
I was lucky enough to be in one of the big rooms of those screens with 7.1 sound. Really like a really clear image. So I mean, it was a gamble, but it looked really good.
Yeah, I almost did IMAX, but then I was reading that it was just converted, and I was like,
yeah, they didn't shoot native. It's not Mission Impossible 4, which. That scene where he climbs the Burj in IMAX, I'm sorry, that will just never be topped. That's the best IMAX sequence ever, in my opinion, ever.
I haven't seen enough things in IMAX really.
There's a lot of great stuff in The Dark Knight, but Brad Bird made the best IMAX sequence ever, and that was it. Just the crazy sense of vertigo that you got looking at that frame.
I'm looking forward to the walk, though. Even the trailer, that sense of vertigo when he goes over the edge and it goes up the building, it's like, whoa.
Dude, I can't wait. It's I hope that accent doesn't bother me too much.
I hope his wig and his contacts don't fucking bother me too much.
Yeah, what's interesting about, this one, though, is I've really dug that all the other movies are more self-contained.
Yeah, and like I said, this one kind of builds into it. It bridges off the last one and kind of leads into the next one.
It just takes its most successful film and it really, I don't know, it just decides to connect it. And I guess, that's what Spectre is going to do with Skyfall, obviously. And again, that thing of I'm sort of just getting sick of this trend of everything has to be connected. I'm just, I don't understand why things can't just be standalone anymore. It's kind of annoying.
First off, connectivity is nice. A shared universe is nice.
It's nice having a little thread where you can point back to, but make it obvious. Then
I've stated a couple times that Bret Easton Ellis is my favorite writer. His novels, his works, his first of which was published in '86, Lesson Zero. All of his writings have a shared universe, a la the View Askew universe. It's not obvious. It's maybe a character gets mentioned, maybe someone makes an appearance, or they narrate a scene. I like that kind of interconnectivity, or the View Askew universe. I don't like what the MCU does and how straightforward and obvious it is, and winking at you. And I think the problem is that studios, or not just studios, but everyone in the media, it seems wants the viewers to be stupid and just happy that these things are happening, where it's no longer good enough that, like you said, that it stands on its own, but you need referentiality so it means something more than it actually should.
Well, that, and I guess maybe it's just for viewers why the average audience likes it. I mean, I can see the appeal in it. I can see it being fun. Just seeing those little things and just going, oh, I know what that is. That's cool. There's some to that. For me, I don't know.
I liked it in the Man of Steel. I liked the Wayne Enterprises satellite and the LexCorp big rig that blows up.
Yeah, but that entire fight exists just to set up Batman.
Whatever,
versus
fuck
Superman.
you, okay?
Yeah.
I like those two things, and I was imagine if there was a scene in Man of Steel though, where Superman is flying and out in space, he sees a Green Lantern symbol in the stars. Okay, that's something that DC. I mean, that's something that Marvel would do. I'm talking when you're watching Iron Man 2 and you see the screens and it says somewhere in Africa, Black Panther. It basically says that. I like having to look for it. I remember pausing Man of Steel at home and going, "Wait, what?" I like things like that, the very subtle references. I'm not big on, oh my god, look that guy's on Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. and he was on a good arc and now he's there. And you wouldn't know that otherwise.
Well, you know what? On the plus side, hopefully Mission Impossible is not going to have any shared universes with Bond anytime soon.
Well,
I'm
I mean,
sure people would
well,
salivate over that.
It's
and
possible,
Yeah, it could
especially
happen.
since Sony might let the rights go up right now. Like there is going to be a bidding war soon, I'm sure. I would hope Sony keeps it. They kind of need the help. But we already kind of said this. There's nothing wrong with this movie. If you like Tom Cruise, if you like Mission Impossible, or you want a good heist flick and you're scared of seeing Ant-Man, this is fun. Like it's funny. It has some good action. But you're not going to be walking away with anything special. It's good popcorn fare, but it's just so you have something to stare at for 2 hours, and once you're out, it's gone.
Yeah, I mean, it's very obvious that, like, right now this movie's over 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's getting a lot of acclaim.
Yeah, it's
so
good.
chances are you could love this movie, and I don't know why there's just such a disconnect for me. Like, we've dug into it a little bit, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting tired of seeing Tom Cruise doing this shit, which I don't know why, because it's awesome. But yeah, just some about this movie just didn't really click with me like the other ones did.
Well, thanks for listening, guys. I hope it's been a pleasure. If you enjoyed it, you can find updates and when episodes go live on Facebook and Twitter at Dollar Reviews. You can follow me personally on Twitter at Brian Gillis, that's BryonGillis, and also under the same name on the lovely site Letterboxd, which acts as my film diary, where I rate the films I watch on an almost daily basis, write the occasional review, and even sometimes compile lists.
You can also find me on Twitter at S_MTX, and also follow my film diary at letterboxd.com. My username is also S_MTX. There I log everything I watch and sometimes write brief reviews.
If you loved what we said, you'd like to contribute some talking points, or you just want to laugh at us and send us hate mail, you can do so at dollar.review@gmail.com.
And since we don't know where you're listening from, you can find our recent reviews on iTunes by searching Dollar Reviews. We're also on SoundCloud at soundcloud.com/Dollar Reviews. And if you're sad that you missed a review and you can't find it on either of those platforms, you can find our entire archive at youtube.com/Dollar Review. Once again, that's Dollar Review, one word without the S.
Until next time, keep the change.